Who is he? A cynical swindler who has to be stopped, or simply an honest man who calls a spade a spade? Gentlemen, the thing is, we still live in the mindset of Soviet slaves. Someone says Mavrodi is fraud, and everyone repeats it parrot-like. If anyone says Mavrodi is an angel, then everybody will do the same. Hold on, I've listened to it, don't interrupt me. The scam artist of the 90s, Sergey Mavrodi, plundered a huge... You do watch TV, don't you? But do you believe everything you see? You could do something real, you know? But what happened to a dream? See, it's the basic notion that a human cannot be bound. Sergey Mavrodi recorded a video message to chief executives of the state. The founder of the financial pyramid, MMM, asked Vladimir Putin to teach his party fellows to mind their tongues. I told you, Mavrodi is a smart man. I believe that banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. Thomas Jefferson. I want to destroy the world financial structure. I consider it unfair. I want to arrange the financial apocalypse, and I will make it. Sergey Mavrodi conquers Ukraine. His project MMM 2011 rapidly gains in popularity. Absolutely nothing can stop me. I think I'm right. Neither the deputies of Verkhovna Rada nor the Russian bailiffs can do anything with the new pyramid. The new, massive project. The new pyramid called MMM. In Kazakhstan, MMM 2011 only begins its activity, and very soon. As the managers of the new pyramid say, advertising Mavrodi's new offspring will embrace every city in the country. He's back, and seems like this time for good. Well, the global revolution is on the way. I think it's already obvious to everyone. The majority tries to deny it, but it's clear to everybody. The system already has several million people and billions of dollars. The non-stop flow of volunteers to bring Mavrodi their money does not run out. We have managed to provide the work of the system that functions way better than any other state institution. The realist, Sergey Mavrodi in the flesh, is online with us. The man who declared war on the system, the government. Today, I would say what you've created is awesome, and I've just said that it's an organization without any structure, which allocates responsibility to the whole pyramid, so it turns out it doesn't end with you. The money doesn't come to you. But in large, as we've mentioned, you can already earn money from all the talk shows, because the most desired guest by today's rave, today's program, the business radio, the most desired guest of all talk shows, greetings to you. And today our guest is the man who's brought up this model to its logical conclusion, simplified it, and is using it. We welcome our guest, Sergey Mavrodi. Good afternoon, Sergey Panteleyevich. Thank you that you've agreed to answer our questions. Good afternoon. Sergey Mavrodi. Sergey Panteleyevich, please tell us, if it's not a secret, this training suit, the sneakers, is it an image of a businessman of the future or an underground millionaire? Unfortunately, I've got nothing else anymore, nothing else to wear. Everything was confiscated by bailiffs. I have nothing left. Sergey Panteleyevich Mavrodi interprets the new MMM as we can do a lot. And here's what he promises. I change people. I change society. The pyramid is only an instrument for this purpose. And people themselves within the system of MMM are changing, participating in the system. People keep on changing for the better. It's an amazing fact, but that's the way it is. MMM 1994 was destroyed by the government. It's no secret, and in the files of my criminal case there are reports by the governors to the President Yeltsin about how everything was going on destroying MMM. It is simply a proved fact that MMM was destroyed artificially on purpose. I was told quite plainly, Sergey Panteleyevich, how could we not have arrested you? Should there have been a couple of months more, and in the country there would have been neither a president nor anything else, there would be only Sergey Panteleyevich Mavrodi, and it was unacceptable. The choice had to be made, whether myself or the government, because when the government first ran on me, I said, okay, you watch. And I dealt shortly with them. I said, I'm going to arrange a referendum. And by law, a referendum could solve any severe political issues. It required 1 million signatures, and I was going to collect them in a week, after which I would make them all go to hell. The president and the government, whoever's in there, just by posing an issue on the trust. And then I would announce to everyone that MMM's interests are the ones of Russia. I could become a president in no time, without any obstacles. I'm just the kind of person who likes to spend time at home. But I probably should have become one. And no one had any doubt. Who could have brought me under control? I myself was going to set everyone under control. What do you mean? No. You are a dangerous man in terms of government. Again, it was a war. It simply was a common war, and the war is always dangerous. When you get involved in games like this, you have to understand what it is. For example, Khodorkovsky. I simply wonder at this foolishness. Some say Khodorkovsky was at war with the government. What war are you talking about? He just had funds that were arrested, and funds are nothing but accounts and figures. Even if you have 100 billion on your account, tomorrow they can be arrested and you won't have anything. That's it. You can't carry on a war with just money. And I had an army of depositors. That was a war. They had aces and I had my own ones. We are the people who can change the world. We change the world. We change the world. All over Russia. All over the world. All over the continents. In Europe. Asia. On the other hand, I have 8% of Gazprom stocks. It's all said in my criminal case. And again, it's all legal, it's not a violation of law. I'm always accused of dodging the law. What are they talking about? Did I abide by the law or not? And there's no such thing as dodging. The question is whether I kept the law or not. And I did keep the law. Dodging is from the evil. Matter of factually, even though the authorities claim that I'm such a swindler and a villain and that I deceived everyone, in fact everything's the other way around. No one is interested in me doing payouts. By the way, nobody obliges me to do that, because I've got mine in prison, and I don't owe anything to anybody by the law. Technically, those Gazprom stocks are mine. I could just take them and head for some warm islands and have no worries. But since I've declared that I'm going to pay back, no one likes the situation. Only imagine that I now suddenly get down to paying out in Russia. What's gonna happen when there's total poverty and breakdown, and I suddenly start giving out money? I promptly turn into a political figure of the state scale. Who needs it? No one does. And as to depositors, no one cares about them. The journalist Marina made an investigation that when the SWAT came, they sealed the office and took out 17 trucks of cash, okay? And not a single truck made it to the bank. Where are those trucks? The officials stole it and split it, alright? I've publicly announced about launching MMM 2011 in the beginning of this year. All the officials and deputies spoke on that. Why haven't they stopped me? Why did they allow that there is now over 30 million participants and all is going well? Why am I not in prison, but instead I'm answering your questions, smiling and joking? Why is that? You know, that's quite a question. I would actually forward it. Why isn't he in prison? Since you think it's a scam, why hasn't I been stopped? So that's the question. If you're doing the same thing that you went to jail for, why aren't you doing your time yet? I'm wondering myself. Sergey Mavrodi, as well as myself, we both wonder why he's not in prison yet. It's not your freaking business, because you don't know anything and don't understand a damn thing. It was the news of the week. Screw that. You're asking me questions which tell that you haven't read a thing. Why have you come here then? You don't know what it's all about. You say such foolish things that tells you don't understand what you're talking about whatsoever. Everyone perceives it in a manner that it's quite clear to everybody intuitively that one can steal in this case. And the situation that one doesn't want to steal evokes amazement, and no one believes it. Is our society really that sick? I don't violate the law, the rest doesn't bother me. My motives are on the other level. Totally moral. I've got to do this because it is my civic duty, and it's the only reason. It's not about money. I think that if I can help people, I must do it. I reckon it as my civic duty, and I consider myself to be right, and absolutely nothing can stop me. Madoff deceived investors. He's a fraud, and he deserved what he got. I have never deceived anyone. Neither do I deceive now. I honestly say that this is a pyramid. You can lose your money. There are certain risks, no guarantees, no promises. What's the crime here? It is bankers who are the real fraud and swindlers. And they're the ones to send to jail. What sort of country do we have? One does not violate the law, yet everyone's sure that he'll go to jail. How come? Is our state constitutional or not? The question is as follows, and no one understands it. Is there a deception or not? The rest doesn't matter. There is no deception, which means I can do whatever I want to. And okay, don't bring your money. Everyone is honestly warned of everything. I don't violate the law, so what's the problem here? In reality, MMM is good for a state. The government is silly, that's why it doesn't understand it. Because in particular, MMM relieves the social stress, and the participants of MMM are happy and glad. They've got no protest moods. And at that, MMM doesn't require neither expenses nor any trouble. It grows very much like wild grass beside a fence, and everyone's glad and happy. In fact, should the government be smarter, it really should cherish us. When I came to the House of Russian Federation Parliament, the entire Duma turned to me to change their money. They all had played, but they did it anonymously. See, I had no need to talk to any high officials. Was there an opportunity to come to terms? Would they come to an agreement? That's unlikely, because I had threatened the very existence of the system. I had been repeatedly invited to Kremlin, but I didn't turn up. So they invited you to Kremlin? Yes, they had invited me, for private talks. What especially works great is the appeal from the government to not join. Once someone from officials says that, the influx of people is counted in crowds. Is it true that from the funds of MMM, you didn't spend anything on yourself? Yeah, only on basic essentials, and it's a downright truth, because it was said in the indictment. And of course investigators, when writing the indictment, tried to use anything against me, any negativity they could come up with. So yeah, I'd spend only on basic essentials, because I live a quiet life. I've been to a restaurant only once in my life. Wait, didn't you want to live a good life? But what does a good life mean? Maybe living with books is a good life. Right, you are answering your own question. Everyone has their own idea about what's good. I felt quite comfortable. There is absolutely nothing in the world that could attract me, that I would desire or wouldn't have. So I just live the way I like to. Yachts, houses, women, restaurants. Well, there's no problem with women, yachts and houses within reasonable limits. What I really love in my life is fishing. The rest, I don't want anything, in the sense that I have everything I want. Again, should I have all these billions tomorrow, my life wouldn't change whatsoever. I would wear the same sweatpants as in '94 because I feel comfortable in them. I would have the same furniture and the same lifestyle. Well, nothing would change, absolutely nothing except having more trouble. I'm looking at your sweatpants, and I have heard that once when you decided to go to Kremlin,